You've done your audition and you know that the right thing to do is to forget about it, let it go, throw away your sides if you had them printed out or delete them from your computer and basically just move on with your life because you've already done your job. You prepared for the audition, you showed up and you did your performance and it's all done. Like you have no control over what happens next. You have no control over whether or not you book the job. It is literally all finished. Now, in reality, just being completely honest here, that doesn't always happen. It just doesn't. Sometimes, and this is from personal experience, after an audition, even though you know you shouldn't do this, you know what you should be doing, but you're not doing it, after an audition, you might obsess over it a little bit. Maybe because you're really attached to the outcome. Well, definitely because you are, because if you weren't attached to it, you wouldn't obsess about it at all. But because you really care about booking the job or how people perceived you during the audition, you start to overthink and overanalyze everything that was said to you during the audition, any feedback or reaction that you got or didn't get. All kinds of things that you can go over and dissect the audition after it's all done and be like, did they like me? Did they not? Did I do the right thing? And it's all useless. So I thought for today's video, I could share with you some of the things that I do to just help me let go of an audition after it's done. Because if I audition and then sit around and do nothing afterwards, my brain will inevitably start thinking all kinds of thoughts and will start going back to the audition and basically trying to relive it all over again. And that's not really what I want. I want to do an audition and then let it go and move on with my day. So hopefully you find some of these things that I share useful. I'm gonna be honest, it's nothing revolutionary here that I'm sharing. Like some of the stuff is probably super obvious, but maybe you need a reminder of what you should do after an audition is done. So yeah, I hope you enjoy.
My first recommendation is to do some moderate exercise if you can. Obviously do what's appropriate for you and your body and your fitness level. My version of moderate might be super easy or super hard for you. And of course, if you're not feeling well or have some kind of medical condition that limits what you can physically do, then feel free to skip this step or talk to your doctor first. I'm obviously not a doctor here. I'm just sharing what works for me personally. And for me, if I do a workout that is on the challenging side, not overly so, but challenging enough where I'm getting my heart rate up a little through some kind of cardio, and also doing some strength training where I can feel my muscles working, I find that I'm able to shut off a part of my brain that's always thinking and truly focus on what I'm doing in the moment and not really have any thoughts outside of my workout. If my workout is too easy for my fitness level, then my brain will wander and it's almost like my mind is not distracted enough. And then of course you also get those endorphins, aka happy hormones, flowing after a workout, which is always awesome because that obviously lifts your mood. My next recommendation revolves around food. I personally love to cook myself a delicious meal after an audition. However, I know that there are some people out there that like to get a sweet treat for themselves after an audition, or a coffee, or their favorite sandwich, whatever they like, and I think that's awesome as well. It's a great way to move on with your day, give yourself some positive reinforcement, and just be proud of what you've accomplished. However, for me, I find cooking to be therapeutic and an effective way to keep my mind preoccupied with the task at hand. So cooking basically helps me to stay present and keep my thoughts at bay about whatever audition I've just done. And staying present is definitely a common theme that you will find throughout all of my recommendations that I give. Also, if I'm doing an in-person audition or have a callback in particular, I tend to have a lot of nerves beforehand, and when I'm nervous, I tend to not have that much of an appetite. Please let me know if anyone else out there can relate to this. But anyway, because of my lack of appetite due to nerves, I don't usually eat that much before an audition, but once I'm done and all that adrenaline has left my body, then I become super hungry and I want to eat something. And for me, because I enjoy cooking, that's what I choose to do. Now, feel free to enjoy the rest of this cooking montage before we move on to my next recommendation. Another thing I suggest, and yes, I know this is not particularly glamorous, but I think it's super helpful, which is to finish any household chores you've been putting off or procrastinating on. When I'm feeling anxious or stressed or overthinking about something, it really helps to have a clean, decluttered environment. I feel like it calms my mind down a lot. Your brain feels less on edge when you're in an environment that's pleasant and not a complete mess, and you also feel productive and, once again, more present when you're redirecting your brain to just focus on what you're doing right now. Cleaning up your space and enjoying your home is just also a great feeling. Lastly, and this might seem super obvious, but find other activities outside of acting that you enjoy doing, whether that's writing stories or reading books, or just generally find other creative outlets that you can engage in. It could be drawing, painting, coloring, crocheting, making videos, whatever you like. I literally created some journals using Canva and published them through Amazon KDP just for fun. You're looking at them right here. And it was a great way to redirect my brain just away from wanting to book something and obsessing over auditions. All right, that is all that I have for you for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it helpful, and I'll catch you all again next time. Bye!